have really happened. So today, we're going to be talking about the Cuban Missile Crisis. The 13 days of possible war. At least there was some tensions. So let's get started. DARKSEAN Cuban Missile Crisis. Where there has been a lot of debate on that time, let's just get started on today's episode of Dark Shun. Right now, I would like to talk to you guys about the Cuban Missile Crisis. And a video called it from October 15th to October 28th of 1962. But on Wikipedia, which is nowadays, it is said that Wikipedia, at least it's been tested, Wikipedia is 96% accurate, or probably more. So I'm just gonna put my bets on that, and I'm just gonna put my bets on the actual dates. October 16th, another color, from October 16th all the way to October 29th in 1962. Those 13 days was when people could have almost went into war. Could have almost went into war and stopped everything. And probably even started World War III. And as Albert Einstein said, he did not know how World War III would be fought. But he did know how World War would be fought. His answer was sticks and stones, meaning that if we used the atomic bomb for World War III, then it could destroy the whole world. Peace by peace. Hey, a good radiation symbol, isn't it? Well, that's way better. So let's start talking here. Alright. The Cuban Missile Crisis, we've started here. Of course, in Cuba. And then a guy named Dwight D. Eisenhower came along. And he said that, hey guys, this place is terrible, and like now that Soviet Union a guy named Castro just came and like overthrew the Cuban government. He's like, yay, communism, and Eisenhower was like, nuh-uh, and he was like, no, we do not like this, and so he started training people, refugees from Cuba, to become warriors, like ninja warriors, and that went very well. And, that went very well. And then this guy ended up with all his 2 terms. So then JFK got elected. And he had to have the choice to authorize the Bay of Pigs or not. And he did it. And it failed miserably. This led to some bombings. But when I say bombings, I don't mean like the USA actually put some bombs. This is what happened. Russia, the reason why all this happened was because Russia put some missiles and built some missile launch parts in areas of Cuba. And this photo was taken by a U-2 spy plane. A U-2 spy plane. And kind of awesome, in fact, like how these guys were courageous and they're like, "Hey, we're here, we are above the sky, we are surveillancing everything, in enemy territory." And this guy was the guy who put all those missiles there. This led to the formation of the Executive Committee of the National Security Council, or better known as XCOM. This included 14 members, 9 from his cabinet and 5 other trusted advisors. Including one of them was Robert F. Kennedy, whom I'm guessing is this guy because he looks a bit like JFK. And that is exactly what happened. Tension started rising, and everything was back to its highest point. Khrushchev drafted a letter all the way to JFK, and of course Castro, so that he could just calm Castro down. And he said this first term in these first agreements and in his first letter. He said that in return for the USSR removing their missile sites and destroying all of them, the USA will promise never to invade Cuba again. And yeah, that's basically what they agreed on. And they were about to agree on this proposal, but then a second letter arrived, in a more harsher tone this time. Khrushchev also said that the missiles in Turkey had to go. They actually put them there. So they were like, the United States of America were like, we're not sure. Kennedy was like, let's agree. But then everyone else was like, no, we have to disagree. This is an arch, a betrayal. And we're not even sure if it's Gorbachev. Look at the two letters. They're both so different tones. So eventually this is what happened. We will agree to the first. And then in secret, RFK was sent to the ambassador for Russia. And then to him, he said that here's a little secret. We will be taking them off, and within 5 months, or is it 6 months for that pays. And if this conversation is leaked out to the public, then the deal's off. And so the deal was made. And how do we know all this? And how do we all know the conversation with XCOM? Well, it was mainly because John F. Kennedy turned on a secret tape recorder. Right before the meeting started, so that he can record conversations and listen to them. And it's not very new for this to happen. A lot of presidents have been recording their conversation recently, especially Nixon, because that was all the evidence that he was needed to actually just impeach him. But at least they tried to impeach him. He was given a pardon by Gerald Ford for some reason. And so that is how it happened. This is how they eliminated the tests of more nuclear missiles. And eventually, after that, after the two superpowers agreed, they're like, yay, they celebrated, except for one man who was like, what? That's it? And he trashed his office. However, like a few days later, about a year later, this guy, JFK, got killed. And way more years later, Nikita Khrushchev was kicked out of office. Yeah! Out of his own political party. And yes, that is how it all ended. So all I want to say before I leave this episode is that this probably could have been the end of the Cold War if it wasn't for all those assassinations. The Cold War went on for another 25 years. Read more of the Cuban Missile Crisis and the Cold War on different places on the internet. In the meantime, why not consider subscribing?